Congratulations on your Legion equipment purchase. This video covers the installation, operation, and maintenance of the TITAN Tilting Skillet and the SKITTLE cooker. Both units are part of Legion's COMBI-PAN series of equipment and are identical except for the TITAN Skillet safety lid and the SKITTLE cooker's capsule lid. Because the two units are the same from the lid down, we will use the SKITTLE cooker to show proper installation and maintenance through most of this video. We will show certain features unique to the TITAN skillet when applicable. This video does not replace the written instructions that came with your equipment. It supplements those instructions by providing a visual guide that will enhance your understanding of the equipment to help ensure it is installed properly. You must refer to the installation and operations manuals for complete information on installation, safety, normal maintenance, service, and your warranty. Pay special attention to the section on safety. Important considerations include the following. Your installation must conform to local or national electrical safety codes as described in the manual. Installation of this equipment must be done by a qualified, experienced service technician. Units with casters must be restrained to prevent tipping when installed. The unit must be placed on a non-combustible floor under an exhaust hood with a fire retardant system conforming to all applicable national and local codes. Adequate air makeup must be provided for exhaust systems. There must be no restrictions of airflow to the unit's combustion system, or that will prevent proper combustion. Never store combustibles or use anything with flammable vapors near this or any other appliance. The manual also explains the important procedures to follow should you ever smell gas. The first step after receiving your equipment is to uncrate it carefully and inspect for any damage during shipment. Also check the contents against the packing list to make sure all accessories are included. The carrier is responsible for any shipping damage or lost parts during transit, and you, as the recipient, are responsible for filing a claim with the carrier. If such problems arise, refer to the section of your installation manual entitled Damage During Shipment to learn precisely what steps you need to take. The unit can now be positioned where you intend to use it. The back of the TITAN skillet requires 9.125 inches of clearance. If you purchased a SKITTLE cooker, the back of the unit requires 13 inches of clearance from the wall. No specific clearances are required on the sides of either piece of equipment. However, you will want to leave room for easy access to the tilting lever and spray hose. Remember to also consider the required clearances of any other adjoining pieces of equipment. The feet should be adjusted so that the cooking surface is properly leveled. The unit should be at a slight pitch, approximately 1/4 inch lower from right rear to left front. This allows proper draining through the draw-off valve. To check the level, put from 1/4 to 1/2 inch of water in the unit and observe how the water lies. Once leveled, the unit's flanged feet must be securely bolted in place. The installer should verify the electrical requirements of the unit to make sure your power supply line is capable of powering the equipment properly. This information is listed on the unit's nameplate. A complete wiring diagram is located inside the cover of the control console. Even though this is a gas unit, it still requires electric power to run. For that reason, you cannot run your equipment during a power outage. A junction box on the back of the unit is provided for connecting the electric power supply line. The unit must be electrically grounded in accordance with local or national codes as described in your manual. It is advised, and most electrical codes require, that an electrical cutoff device such as a fused disconnect switch or equivalent be installed in the power supply line between the main power supply and the unit. Next comes the gas hookup. Before the connection is made, the main gas supply must be shut off. The gas supply line must be a minimum of 3/4-inch NPT pipe and must be installed with a sediment trap to protect against contamination of the gas control. Once the gas supply line is configured, it can be connected to the rear of the unit using a good quality joint compound. If LP gas is supplied, a joint compound resistant to LP gas should be used. It's your responsibility to ensure that the supply line installed is large enough to achieve the proper flow volume and pressure when all equipment on the same line is in operation. Once the main gas supply has been turned on, the connection needs to be checked for leaks using a rich soap and water solution. The connections upstream of the pilot burner should be checked first. Bubbles indicate a leak. If a leak is detected, the connection should be tightened. If this fails, the part must be replaced. If no leaks are detected, the installer can proceed to check for leaks with the burners on. The infrared burners are lit by pressing the rocker switch and then turning up the thermostat above room temperature. Stand clear to protect against any flashback that might occur from hidden leaks. The lighting sequence is automatic. Never attempt to manually light the main burner. With the main burner in operation, the soap solution can be applied to all pipe joints, adapters, and the control inlet and outlet. Be aware that faulty operation and even equipment damage will result if the gas supply falls below requirements. Gas pressure input and output ratings are listed on the unit's nameplate. Acceptable pressure ranges are also given in your manual. Do not exceed these ratings. Using a pressure gauge or a manometer, the installer must record the gas pressure at the gas control inlet and outlet. First with all equipment on the same gas line turned on, then with all the equipment turned off. These readings are necessary for your installation and warranty records. Since outlet pressure is dependent upon proper inlet pressure, the inlet pressure must be checked first. If inlet pressure is too high, a pressure regulating valve must be installed in the gas supply line. If inlet pressure is too low, the installer must determine the problem. Too much equipment may be on the same line, or a larger gas supply line may be required. On the other hand, if outlet pressure is too high or too low and the inlet pressure is nominal, the outlet pressure can be adjusted by the installer. All of these contingencies, along with proper procedures for safety checking and correcting inlet and outlet pressures, are provided in detail in your installation manual. With electrical power and gas connected, the primary aspects of your installation have been completed. Your installation manual contains a checklist that must be filled out to show that certain key elements of the installation have been performed properly. This checklist must be completed for your warranty to be valid, so do not neglect this step. With the information recorded, there are still a few things to do prior to running the equipment. A water fill faucet is standard on the SKITTLE and optional on the TITAN Skillet. If your equipment has a fill faucet, be sure the installer connects both the spray hose and the water supply, which can be either hot or cold. Your equipment came with either a clear vinyl hose or a stainless steel hose. The temperature and pressure ratings for each can be found in your manual. The TITAN Skillet has a drip collector at the rear of the pan body. A flexible hose cut to length and supplied by the installer carries away condensate from the drip collector directly to a floor drain. Make sure the hose is connected and directed properly. Next, you'll notice that the lids on both the TITAN Skillet and the SKITTLE cooker operate with spring-loaded actuators. One actuator on the TITAN's lid and two to support the capsule lid on the SKITTLE. If the lid can be raised to any position and it remains in that position, the actuators are adjusted properly. Should the tension need adjustment after shipping or at any time in the future, the following procedure can be performed. First, raise the cover. Next, remove the tube closure cap and with a deep socket tool, turn the adjusting nut clockwise to increase tension or counterclockwise to decrease tension. Rotate the nut one turn at a time and test the lid's operation. When the adjustment is complete, simply replace the tube closure cap. Before operating your equipment, wash it down with a mild detergent. Always wipe electrical panels. Never rinse them with a spray hose or let water come in contact with any electrical components. For routine cleaning, we recommend Legion's Care Kit accessories to help you thoroughly clean all surfaces, including the inside of the Skittles capsule lid. When washing, excess water in the pan may be drained away through the draw-off using the optional drain hose attachment. Once the water has been drained from the pan, take off the drain hose, making sure the stem is in the open position. Remove the nut and the stem from the draw-off faucet and thoroughly clean the body and tube using the draw-off cleaner brush provided with the Care Kit or any similar brush. When through, rinse with clean water and reassemble, taking care never to over-tighten the draw-off. We've already started the unit up several times during installation, but we should go through all control functions step by step for a full understanding. Turn on the main power supply by pressing the rocker switch to the on position. The rocker switch illuminates, indicating the unit is energized and ready for operation. Next, turn the thermostat clockwise to the desired temperature. This will cause the red heating power light to come on, showing that the infrared burners are now active. If the temperature of the unit is already above the set temperature, the red heating power light will not come on. Closing the lid will speed up the heating process. Once the unit has cycled, you can start cooking immediately. However, to guarantee the most even, stable heat, you may want to let it cycle several times. If a new temperature is desired during a cooking operation, simply turn the thermostat to the new setting. Again, allow several cycles to ensure proper heat stabilization. With the Skittle and Titan, it is possible to dump cold water into a hot pan without damage or warping to cool it down faster, clean, or change cooking functions. Your unit also contains an amber overheating indicator light. If this amber light ever comes on during an operation, it means that the primary thermostat has allowed the temperature to exceed its maximum setting and that the secondary high-limit cutoff thermostat has been activated, turning off the infrared burners as a safety precaution until the unit cools. Once it cools down below the cutoff temperature, the thermostat automatically resets and permits normal operation. Be aware that activation of the amber light is unusual and may signal that the primary thermostat needs to be replaced. What if your equipment requires servicing or repair? Your service technician can reach all components easily, right from the front. Here are the steps. Unplug the equipment. Turn off the gas valve and detach the secondary gas line. Release the electric umbilical cord from its hook. Raise the unit's lid completely. On the Titan skillet, it may be necessary to loosen the nut on the lower part of the actuator rod to allow the lid to raise fully. Remove the draw-off valve. Now, remove the bolt from the tilt mechanism arm using a 5/8 inch hex socket. This allows you to rotate the pan body 180 degrees, exposing all panels to both the control console and the pan bottom. Removing 2 screws allows you to slide out the cover of the control console, providing access to all the electrical components for the control circuit. The infrared burners and the thermal bulbs for the thermostats are located under other panels, accessed just as easily. When you're finished servicing the unit, simply reverse the procedure. Complete instructions, part lists, and a troubleshooting guide for servicing your unit can be found in the manuals provided with your equipment. There is also a maintenance and service log for your use in recording all maintenance and service performed on the equipment. If your equipment ever needs repair during the warranty period, prior authorization from Legion Industries is required. Once again, refer to your manual for complete information on warranty repairs. Legion's COMBI-PAN series provides unmatched versatility and menu flexibility. Complete instructions for cooking with the Skittle and Titan can be found in the cooking guide that came with your equipment. But this is a good place to review the types of cooking you can perform and the procedures involved for each. To use your Titan skillet or Skittle cooker as a fryer, fill the pan with the required amount of oil, not to exceed 3 inches. The Skittle and the Titan deep fry at a lower temperature than conventional fryers, from 300 to 325 degrees. Since oil is a poor conductor of heat, it takes time for it to stabilize. If the thermostat is set at 325 degrees, the first cycle will occur before the oil is actually at that temperature. That's because the thermostat senses the temperature of the plate, not the actual oil. Closing the lid helps to speed up the heating process. Allow several cycles for the unit to reach the desired temperature. Under heavy frying loads or for faster warm-up, the thermostat can be set to approximately 400 degrees to bring the temperature up to 325 degrees more rapidly and to also maintain it during frying. The temperature should not be left at 400 degrees under normal use, since this will only damage the oil. For this reason, the temperature of the oil should be monitored as long as you have it set at an elevated level. Keep the lid lowered in between deep frying for greater efficiency and to keep the work environment cooler. When you're done frying, simply drain the oil into a filter or storage container through the draw-off valve. To use the unit as a griddle, set the thermostat to the desired temperature and lower the lid to speed up the preheating process. Once again, several cycles of the heating indicator light are recommended, but cooking can start immediately with good results. The patented heating system of these units provides even, consistent heat with no cold spots right up to the edge of the pan. For especially greasy foods such as sausage or bacon, place the unit in its 10-degree tilted position. Grease runs away from the food as it cooks through the draw-off and into a number 10 can for safe, easy disposal. Just as you can drain grease away through the draw-off valve, any liquid food product you prepare in any COMBI-PAN equipment can be drained into the convenient food pan. The optional draw-off spout enhances the process. The food pan has 2 positions, allowing the pan to remain level, even when the unit is adjusted to its tilted position. Once in the pan, this brown gravy, for instance, can be safely moved to the serving line or to a cooler for reheating later. Now, let's look at using your equipment as a skillet or braising pan. Once again, set the thermostat to the desired temperature. Lower the lid for preheating and allow several cycles. Brown pounds of ground meat for chili. In this case, use the draw-off strainer to keep food product from escaping the draw-off along with the grease. Make a shrimp stir-fry. Create a pan full of country-style ribs. Or braise a big roast. Then steam the roast side by side with potatoes. And maybe some vegetables. Afterward, you have a delicious au jus, or the basis for gravy. Your Skittle or skillet also makes the ideal kettle or stock pot. Simply boil the required amount of water for a pan full of corn on the cob. Pasta is just as easy. When it's done, drain the water through the draw-off. Rinse the pasta with a spray hose and carry it right to the serving line in the cooking baskets. Boil whole chickens for chicken soup. Few jobs are too large for your Titan skillet or Skittle cooker. The Skittle or the Titan can also be used as a roaster or combi oven, preparing foods in dry heat or in combination with steam. However, because of its huge capacity, the Skittle is the clear choice for heavier needs. Depending on the size you purchase, the Skittle can accommodate up to 15 food pans in its cassette racks or up to 12 cooking baskets. The capsule lid allows for complete utilization of available oven space. The Titan skillet cannot accommodate the cassette racks, but up to 3 food pans or 3 cooking baskets, depending on the size you purchased, may be placed inside. Now we come to the star of the show, closed cycle steaming. With its capsule lid, the Skittle cooker provides the maximum amount of steaming capability. The Titan skillet steams just as well, only the amount you can steam is more limited. Both the Titan and the Skittle steam without a boiler. This means no deliming, descaling, boiler breakdowns, or associated downtime problems. To steam, add 1 or 2 inches of water to start. More may be added later as needed. Close the lid. On the Skittle, also close the rear vent and preheat the unit to about 190 degrees. Once the unit has cycled several times, you're ready to steam and the unit is idling without consuming power or water. Raise the temperature setting to about 225 degrees and insert your filled food pans into the cassette racks of the Skittle. If you purchase the Titan skillet, place the cooking baskets in the unit, or sit the 2.5-inch pans inside the 6-inch pans. Steam the food the same length of time you would in a conventional steamer. Higher temperature settings will not speed up cooking. The water will simply boil away. Steam condenses back into water on cool product, which then drips back down into the pan. This activates the thermostat, which then generates more steam. Once the product is hot and finished cooking, the steam will not condense. Heat is not needed, and the thermostat will stay off. That's it. It's that simple. What if you have leftover product, vegetables or potatoes, for instance? Well, the Titan and the Skittle make ideal holding cabinets. Add a small amount of water, about 4 to 6 cups, into the pan. Set the thermostat to about 175 to 190 degrees. Place the food product in the unit and close the lid for holding. The capsule lid of the Skittle and the safety lid on the Titan do not leak like vertical doors as long as the lid is down. Later that day or even the next morning, remove the potatoes and examine the color and texture. They are virtually unchanged. Both units preserve the moisture content of food while holding without deterioration. Potatoes are still on the menu, only today we'll make hash browns. The Titan and the Skittle are also ideal for cook-chill applications. Using the same procedures we used for steaming, chilled food from the cooler or the freezer can be rethermalized quickly and gently with no damage to the product. What about cleaning your new equipment? The stainless steel surface of your equipment can be cared for using any good commercial stainless steel cleaner or polish. Contrary to popular belief, stainless steel remains resistant to corrosion only as long as its surface remains intact. There are some basic rules to prevent the breakdown of this surface. First, never use anything that will scratch the surface, such as steel pads, wire brushes, or scrapers. In the pan, scratches make cleaning more difficult and provide places for bacteria to collect and grow. Never use steel wool since it can leave particles embedded in the pan and can also lead to eventual corrosion and pitting. Only plastic scouring pads and soft cloths should be used, since they will not damage the stainless steel surface. Second, never let deposits from water, particularly hard water, or deposits from food sit on the surface for extended periods. Third, never use cleaners containing chlorides. Use only alkaline chlorinated, or non-chloride cleaners. Also avoid cleaners containing quaternary salts, since they can also contribute to pitting and rusting. Fourth, after cleaning, wipe off the cleaning agents as soon as possible. Rinse thoroughly with clean water. Wipe dry, then allow the surface to air dry. The oxygen actually helps the stainless steel maintain its protective surface. If you've been doing a lot of continued steaming or boiling, you may notice a buildup of lime or scale in the pan. This cleans up easily using vinegar, a vinegar-water mixture, or any commercial deliming, descaling solution. As we stressed at the beginning, This video was intended to get you started quickly on your new equipment. It is not a substitute for the written installation and operating instructions that came with your unit. Remember to send in your warranty registration card. Vital and necessary in the processing of any future service required on your equipment. If at any time you have questions about warranty coverage, operating procedures, service, repairs, or maintenance, contact Legion's Customer Service Department at the address shown. For immediate help, phone 800-887-1988. Once again, we thank you for the purchase of your COMBI-PAN equipment. From its versatility, safety features, and durable construction, to its time-tested performance and full HACCP compliance, you've selected the finest equipment available. We know it will provide you with reliable, efficient service for years to come.